Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Amanda. Today's video is going to be something a little different than what I usually do, but like I mentioned in a couple videos back, probably will continue to mention it until it like just becomes a routine, is that I'm trying to add a little bit more flair to my channel and give a little bit more fun information and just make it more personable, because right now you guys are just seeing like weekly updates and things with baby. But this video is going to be pregnancy related, but it's going to be just a little spin on it. I've seen some of these videos on TikTok and I thought, why not make a YouTube video of it, because I really enjoy watching the TikToks, but they always, anyways, they like come sporadically on your For You page. Anyways, so I'm gonna give you guys 10 things that nobody told me about pregnancy. 10 things that no one warned me, mentioned, or acknowledged. There is going to be some that are TMI, there's going to be some that are just about baby, there's going to be some just about your body. I did a wide variety of stuff, so if you guys are interested in 10 things that no one told me about pregnancy, and if you're interested to see if you learned that or if you didn't know that, keep on watching. So I'm gonna jump right in it with the first one, which is that you are pregnant for 10 months, but you're not technically pregnant the first 3 or 4-ish. Like I was saying, you are not technically pregnant for the first like 3 to 4 weeks, depending on when you implant. So the first 3 or 4 weeks of your pregnancy, you're not actually pregnant, which is so crazy. So that's why they say you're 10 months in pregnancy, but that you're only 9 months pregnant. So you're 9 months physically pregnant, but it's 10 months of time that they calculate from the last day of your period to your due date is approximately 10 months. But from like when baby implants into your uterus to when baby is born is approximately 9 months. So if you didn't know that, that's pretty cool. I did not know that until I started researching like fertility and getting pregnant and stuff like that. That was something that I learned via the internet, and nobody told me that. The second thing is that baby has a heartbeat pretty early on, and they usually can detect it between 5.5 to 6 weeks, but it's going to be through a vaginal ultrasound. If you guys have never had a vaginal ultrasound before, they can be uncomfy because they like to stick up this little wand into your and they move it left and right to look at your ovaries. They're going to look at your uterus for baby's heartbeat. So if you are early on in your pregnancy and you want to have a heartbeat or let them look for a heartbeat, you most likely will be having a vaginal ultrasound, even up to 8 weeks. I think even your first ultrasound, some doctors prefer to do a vaginal ultrasound instead of a regular ultrasound, which is what my doctor did. So I had an ultrasound at like 6 weeks to confirm pregnancy. That was vaginal. And then my one at 8 weeks with my actual OB that I am with now was at 8 weeks. And that was a vaginal ultrasound as well. So if you are not knowing that, just be prepared if you're going into your first appointment, because it's kind of, can be like, they're like, okay, we're gonna give you vaginal ultrasound. It can like catch you off guard. And number three is something that I actually just started to feel. So when I first got pregnant, you have what they call pregnancy bloat. You just look pregnant, like you look like you're in the early stages of pregnancy, but you're just extremely bloated. Your uterus is changing and hormones are rushing through your body that aren't usually there. So you get very, very bloated. The bloat is worse than growing a belly, I tell ya, because the bloat can feel uncomfortable. And then up until this point, so I'm almost 21 weeks, so this could very much change when I get very, very pregnant. But it was super, super uncomfortable, and it almost physically hurt the inside. And obviously it's gonna hurt and be uncomfortable because baby's in there. But just having uncomfortable bloating, it sucks. Like if you have bloating anytime, it sucks. So pregnancy bloat is worse than actually growing a baby. But not worse than like what I'm gonna talk about in a couple minutes. So Number 4, which combines with number 3, is that round ligament pain sucks. And this is something that goes hand in hand with bloating. So bloating is more uncomfortable and lasts for a while. For me, round ligament pain comes in like spasms throughout the day. When I get bloated, I'm usually bloated all day. Like that's just the way my body works. So when I was early on in my pregnancy, I was bloated all the time. Now I'm actually having a baby belly because she's in there almost a pound, 13 ounces. And whenever I sneeze or cough or jolt the wrong way, even when I rotate, so I like to sleep on my belly, but it's starting to get uncomfortable, so I'm sleeping on my side. So when I go from one side to the other side, my round ligament pain hurts so bad. And it's very similar to cyst pain, because that's what I thought it was at first, until I was like telling my doctor, I was like, something is wrong. My cyst is growing. It's not going away. She's like, I don't see a cyst. And I'm like, what is it? She's like, well, it could be round ligament pain. And it sure enough was and still is. I'm still having it and probably will have it for the rest of my pregnancy. But yeah, round ligament pain feels like cysts, and it hurts even worse when you sneeze or cough or jolt movements or do something too quickly. So yeah, you have that to look forward to. And number 5, so this is one of those TMIs, but guys, I never, out of all the research I've done in pregnancy, I mean, I've looked up what different discharge means. I've looked up how much discharge, like which is normal, what consistency is normal, the smell, like I've learned all of it, right? Nobody told me how much discharge you have when you're pregnant. Like so much. I remember when I first got pregnant and I would literally have so much discharge, I was so concerned. I was like, something's wrong, like something is not right. And I go to my doctors and she's like, oh, that's completely normal. And I'm like, you mean to tell me out of all the research I've done and all the people I've talked to, no one mentions that? Because there is going to be so much discharge, so much. So just warning. Number 6, morning sickness should be called all day sickness. And I think most moms agree. Morning sickness is such a misconception that you wake up and you're nauseous and you might throw up and then it goes away. No. You wake up from a night's worth of rough sleep from feeling nauseous and throwing up, to feel nauseous and throw up, to then persist all day being nauseous and throwing up. Some have it worse. I had one of the not worst cases, but more of a bad case than an easy case. So a lot of women might not experience it at all. I had it extremely bad for 2 months straight. I was in my bed straight chilling. Yeah, like 2 months straight, couldn't eat, couldn't drink. It was just so freaking rough for me. So morning sickness equals all day sickness. Number 7, which is something I was not prepared for, foods that you love, you will hate. I love sushi, but at the beginning of my pregnancy, I couldn't eat it. It made me feel too full, it made me feel too bloated, and then it started like the smell would bug me, and then other things started to smell bad. Meat is one of the worst smelling things I've ever smelled in my entire life. I don't know if I will ever recover from smelling meat the way I've smelled it while I'm pregnant. Like, it makes me gag. Like, gagging so freaking bad. Foods you love, you will hate. Smell-wise, taste-wise, consistency-wise, the way it feels down, the way that goes down your stomach, the way it feels when it's digesting, the way it feels when it's coming out of your body. It's all around. Foods you love, you will freaking hate. So just a warning that from the time its smell goes to your nose to the time it exits your body, you will hate it when you used to love it. All right, number 8, which goes along with number 7, you will gag so much. I gag so much in the shower, brushing my teeth, going to the bathroom. I gag at my own pee. And number 2, gagging. I gag at meat. I gag at things that smell weird. I Okay, at least perfect example. Like, even the thought of gagging makes you gag. It's bad, and no one told me that. No one told me that you would gag to the point where you're crying and might throw up your breakfast. Okay, so number 9, I'm gonna read this because it's kind of a long one. They say you get more hungry, but lots of mamas lose their appetite for multiple months of pregnancy and actually lose fat percentage. So this goes back to morning sickness and food you love, you will hate. I never knew that you could actually become so sick that you could lose weight. So if you guys follow along on my pregnancy updates, you guys will know that I actually lost around 5 pounds the first 2 months of my pregnancy. So I came into my pregnancy weighing around 160. I dropped down to 155 range. And now I don't know how much I weigh at this point. I'm probably back up to like 165, 160, 165. I would assume. I should know at my next doctor's appointment. They didn't weigh me this time. But yeah, you can lose body fat percentage, and I put body fat percentage to be more precise because you will lose weight, but you're actually losing fat on your body. And a lot of people think that you gain fat whenever you're pregnant. I'm not saying that you're not going to gain fat, because you probably will later on in your pregnancy unless you're sick the entire pregnancy. But for me, I lost weight, which I did not know that I would actually lose weight before I gained weight. And like I said, as of right now, I don't know how much total weight I have gained my entire pregnancy. I'm almost 21 weeks, and I'm still comfortably fitting in my clothes, like shirts and stuff. So I would assume like 165 if that was my guess. But yeah, I definitely have lost fat percentage and muscle percentage because I wasn't able to work out like I used to. And then the last thing is number 10, very important. And I think a lot of people might know this, but I think it's important to address, is that every woman's body grows a human differently. So you may show early on in your pregnancy, you might not show until later on in your pregnancy. You might have stretch marks, you might not have stretch marks, you might have acne, you might not have acne, you might have morning sickness, you might not have morning sickness. When I did research, I knew that each pregnancy could be different, but I didn't realize how diverse pregnancy is between every woman. So if you're watching my videos and you're trying to compare yourself, try not to do that as much. Is that something that I've learned as a new mom and someone who's been early on in pregnancy, like comparing myself to other women, is not to do that. So where you gain weight, someone else might not gain weight, and the way your bump shows, it will be different. And learn to love your body, learn to appreciate your body, but also show respect and be kind and nice to other women who are also growing a human, because it's very hard. But yeah, it's not all the same. You know, you grow a baby that's roughly around the same way, and same, basic stuff, head, feet, legs, but everybody's body does it completely differently. So your body will be completely different, and really no one can tell you what your body's gonna do. You have no idea what your body's gonna do, and even if you've been pregnant before, you can be pregnant again and it can be completely different, something you've never experienced before. So each woman's body is different. So those are my 10 things. I could probably think of a lot more things I didn't know while I was pregnant that go hand in hand and all work out together. But out of all the research I've done, and I've done a lot of research, these are things that just kind of happened that no one told me about, that I experienced and then looked it up and realized it. So I kind of gave you guys 10 things that you might not have known about. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little different video on my channel, and I will see you guys in my next one. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and leave comments down below. I'd love to read your comments, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.